Well, greetings everyone. This is a new era. Um, I don't celebrate New Year's because I know everything we've been taught is a lie. And the thing is, I've just realized something about a lot of people. People think communication is just the spoken word or hearing somebody say something and then having the right answer to come back. And I found that in my circles in the past, right? So I say in the past because I've been making changes. Um, People listen to hear what they want to hear, and in many cases, they listen to be able to rebut you. They don't communicate thoroughly or accurately. When you send them something to read, most often they pick out what they know and miss a lot of the things that you're actually saying in that communication. We are infinite intelligent beings. We've been around for millions of years. So when we say our mothers are our first teachers, right? Think about that. Because her mother's mother, 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 right? So that's a lot of communication and information within our DNA. So we think we don't know stuff. I'm going to make a correction. We know a lot. We just need to reconnect and remember who we are. The series that I was doing with Be Heal Nations on Bay Hill News Net, when I started, a lot of the people who are indoctrinated, who has cognitive dissonance, said to me that I am speaking in parables and they do not understand what I'm saying because I'm speaking in codes. Didn't they also say that about the so-called Jesus, which is really Yeshua, because a J is just invented the other day, right? And someone close to me recently told me that, oh, a lot of people calling themselves Jesus or naming their children. No, they're not. It's J is just invented, right? So, and it's not pronounced Jesus. It's Yeshua. It's us. Excuse me. It's Jesus or Jesus, right? Which is really ISIS, right? So the misinformation and the indoctrination in the church, especially, if you're gonna call anyone antichrist, look at those programming coming out of the schools, churches, um, you know, lodges, because the lodge has the lodges and the Freemasons, they have the right information, but they have their programming to create. They are the gatekeepers, right? The lodge here in the Caribbean, they're gatekeepers. You know, when you find out who you are and you start to activate, they're gonna find every way to shut you up. And it's been done in some and not just across the world. A lot of the murders and stuff you see, they want you to believe that it's not related to them, but it is. So, and it's been interesting for me. So that's one topic that I wanted to share. The other thing is, I recently spent some time with my father. I didn't grow up with him. And it's been interesting because he confirmed my suspicions. How we behave is based on our experience when we, between age birth and 7 years old. Now, his trauma is feeling that he was abandoned because his parents had to go to Aruba and other places, right? So he never had that connection. Then my mom and him, I mean, in our tradition, in our true culture, we didn't get married like with the certificates as such, but the community raised the children, and a marriage, as soon as you're with someone, that is considered like a spiritual marriage. You all could say what you want to say, that is facts, okay? Now, because of the indoctrination of the churches, etc., the women usually feel pressured for marriage. And the men are running from that because instinctively they know that's not how it is, right? And I'm not saying it's okay for men to go around and have several children with different men, different women. No, what I'm saying is because we've lost touch with who we are, we forgot our commitments and who we are as a people, as a village, as a town, as a city, whatever it is. Usually it's your immediate community or the immediate family structure or tribal structure. So that was another experience of trauma and abandonment for me that was transferred and within the DNA because he had that in his DNA passed on to me as well. My mother had similar experiences with our father, so that was passed on. Even though we lived in the same house and stuff, that trauma is within our bodies, it's within us. So there's a loss of connection, and especially for the male especially, I've always said that needs to be shown more love. And in many cases, some of them are so into their low vibrational, what we call the lower self or the ego, that they don't realize or they have an expectation, right? Many boys have an expectation, and because they didn't fulfill those expectations from their parents, they live with a certain animosity or whatever. So I've discovered too that my father and I have so many things in common, so many things in common. Like he's an artist, and I didn't know that. And I was always interested and passionate about drawing and creating stuff. He grew up in agriculture. I always loved to seed plants, etc. So that part I knew of him, but the artist part, he told me anytime they needed to have a drawing, they would always seek him out. And whatever they tell him, he would bring it to life. So that was fascinating to me. While I was treating him, however, with natural herbs, We Heal Nation and Nutrition's natural wave stuff, formulas, I saw some changes in him. Like he doesn't see, but he has visions as if it was so real for him. You know, at one point, in his vision, he sees water. He took his slippers up and put them on the bed. And it's nothing. I know the norm is to think these people are crazy. They're not. We're in a time where all the veils are open, so there's different dimensions. So because of his blindness, I think he's able to, what you call, have that, those visions. Oh, it's called like virtual, I forgot what it's called, but like it's like you're here, but you're seeing somewhere else. Like your mind travels, and you can see other realms. So I was researching those things, and it's very interesting. And he now started to. One day he says osmosis, and he gave the definition of osmosis, and I went and looked it up. But the way he did it was a better definition than what I found. Very interesting. Yeah, because he didn't get to go to the traditional high school, etc., but he went to what they call ECFI, which is Eastern Caribbean Farming Institute. That was way back. He's 95. Let me just remind you of that. So I'm having a great time. How about you? Peace and love.